This is a book summary of Minimalism, Live a Meaningful Life by the Minimalists. This book is designed to provide you with a basic recipe for intentional living while allowing you to adjust the recipe to suit your own taste and lifestyle. In this summary, we will take a look at who are the minimalists before moving on to examine the 5 core values: health, relationships, passion, growth, and contribution. For living a minimalist and more meaningful life, I outlined a lesson for each of the core values in the book summary. Who are the minimalists? They are 2 guys called Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus, who are 2 30-something-year-old guys who are best friends. Before they were minimalists, they were 2 young professionals living in US, making 6-figure salary, had fancy cars, big houses, expensive clothes, but weren't satisfied with their lives. They discovered that working 70 to 80 hours a week and buying even more stuff didn't fill the void. It widened it. After embarking on their individual minimalist journeys, they decided to share their journey by writing essays about living a meaningful life with less stuff at theminimalist.com, a website with more than 4 million readers. So we move on to what is minimalism. Minimalism is a tool we use to live a meaningful life with 2 key ideas. First idea is to stop searching for happiness and look for meaning instead. And this can happen if our short-term actions align with our long-term values. Then we will find purpose in whatever we are doing. This way of living deliberately leads to true happiness that is reinforced by a life of discipline, attention, awareness, and intentionality. Well, in the second idea, the minimalists talk about how we need to take an inventory of our lives. We need to find out what is making us unhappy and what we need to do to change those things in our lives so that we could experience happiness. Well, this book also covers why these 5 values are the most important areas in our lives: health, relationships, passion, growth, contribution. For the first lesson, change the way you think about diet and exercise. If we want to live a truly meaningful life, we all must strive to be the healthiest versions of ourselves, which is taking care of the 2 main ingredients, which is eating and exercising. In terms of diet, a change in dietary lifestyle does not only mean a change in what you consume, but also a change in how you think about what you consume. Your dietary lifestyle is a permanent change, not something you adopt temporarily. In terms of exercise, we need to ask ourselves, what are the most important measurements of exercise? Which are you constantly improving your fitness? And are you happy with your progress? Well, the next lesson is evaluate your current relationships. Take an honest look at your relationships. Does the person make you happy? Do they offer support? Do they encourage you to grow? Does this person contribute to your life in a meaningful way? So, how do you evaluate your current relationships? Here is a quick method. Make 3 columns and list the following: name, signifiers, and effect. There are 3 categories when it comes to signifiers, which are primary, secondary, and peripheral. Under primary, it looks at people such as your partner, family members, extremely close friends. Under secondary, it looks at close friends, boss, a few colleagues, extended family members. Under peripheral, it looks at most colleagues, neighbors, members of your community, and acquaintances. Once you have listed down the categories under the signifiers next to the name, include the effect of this person in your life. Positive, makes you happy and grow. Negative, makes you unfulfilled and frustrated, or neutral. Now, Once you have created the 3 columns, include the name of the people that you have relationships with. Once your list is complete, review it. You probably spend a majority of your time with your peripheral relationships. You probably focus most of your time, effort, and attention on the group of people that matter the least to you. It's important you dedicate less time to this group and focus your attention to your primary relationships. The next lesson is removing career anchor from your identity. Who are you? Have you ever thought about this question? On the surface, it sounds fairly simple, but in reality, it is not an easy one to answer. Because of that complexity of the question, we often turn to our jobs for an answer. For example, I'm a teacher, I'm an accountant, I'm a lawyer. However, they become problematic when we give these labels enough meaning to say, that's who I am as a person. Once you acknowledge your job is who you are, it's extraordinarily difficult to do something else. When you are trapped in this kind of identity, it's hard to realize you are not your job, you're not your stuff, you're not your dad, and you're not your paycheck. You are so much more. You are a brother, father, sister, mother, partner, friend. The next lesson is find leverage to grow. The first step in any change, big or small, is making a decision to change. You make the decision a must in your life, not something you should change someday when it becomes convenient for you. Making these decisions can be easy or difficult, depending on the leverage. Well, leverage is your ability to associate enough satisfaction with the change, so much so that you have no choice but to make change a must in your life. The more leverage you have, the easier decision is to make and follow through with, because the satisfaction you experience on the other side of the change is so great that you must make the change a reality. In the next lesson we look at, ask how you can add value. At its core, this question helps you to identify how you are contributing. If you don't have a good answer, then another question is, how could I add value to this situation? Or, how could I better add value? By asking these questions, you will begin to better understand how to use your limited time to better contribute to the people around you. For example, have you ever heard an inspiring speech that made you want to take action immediately? Have you ever attended a semester-long high school class that added value to your life? If the answer is yes, then you have gained value from these 2 experiences. However, if you had the opportunity to add immense value to someone's life in 1 hour, doesn't that make more sense to stretch it out over weeks and months? Well, this example is to reinforce the point to make the most out of your interactions. When you are constantly asking, how do you add value, you will start to notice that everything you do begins to add value in various ways. If you like this video, do click like and subscribe to my channel.